it's cinemashogun here, and in recent history, it seems like every few years there's this big event, or better yet, there's like a date set aside where something big is supposed to happen. Maybe the world is supposedly going to end on this date, or some type of life-shattering event is going to happen. For example, do you all remember Y2K? I think I was 9 years old in the year 2000, but I vividly remember that everyone was panicking. Everyone was wondering what was going to happen because everyone was warned that when the ball drops, when it turns to the year 2000, that clocks and computers and technology around the world would just stop working and we would be sent back to the Stone Age. Everyone was worried that that was going to happen for real. I don't know how many of you all remember that, but I'm sure most of you do. And then I believe, 2012? Because of like the Mayan calendar or something, 2012 was supposedly going to be the year that the world ended. It's like every few years we have something like this going on. And in retrospect, looking back now, I realize that all of these events, all of this stuff that's happened throughout recent history, it has desensitized people to what's happening right now. It has totally desensitized people to what's going on currently in the world. And the question is, was that done on purpose? Or is that just a side effect of like this boy who cried wolf type of situation that we get thrown into every couple of years? But looking around the world right now, it's obvious that we're headed for something big. This is not something found in a Mayan calendar. This isn't something that's dreamed up by conspiracy theorists online. No. Look around you. Look at what's happening throughout the world. Look at what different governments and militaries are doing throughout the world. It's obvious that something big is coming. It's so obvious that it's not even a secret. World powers, world leaders are out here telling you every day, if you listen and you watch and you know how to read between the lines, and hell, you don't even have to read between the lines anymore if you just pay attention. It's not a secret. They're telling you. They're telling you every single day that something's going to happen. That we are headed for something life-altering. We are headed for times that will change this world forever. It's obvious. They let you know that. But when you try to warn people about this, it falls on deaf ears. Because the majority of people, they've been so desensitized. Oh, yeah, they told us the world was going to end in the year 2000. Who cares about these warnings now? Yeah, we were told the world was going to end in 2012. Climate change weirdos told us that Florida would be sunk into the ocean by now. You know, there's all these little things that have happened that have desensitized people. So when you try to tell people in the year 2023 that, hey, we're headed for something big is on the horizon, World War III, who knows what it's going to be, but it's very obvious that the powers that be and the governments around the world are preparing for what's to come. And when you tell people this, it blows right over their head. And it's not really their fault, because for years, for decades now, every couple of years you get these warnings, oh, something's happening, and it never really happens. But now, it's happening, folks. Like I said, look around. Just last night, we had military helicopters zipping throughout Dallas. Now, I live next to a Air Force facility. I live next to an airfield, a military airfield. I have helicopters flying over my house all the time. It's nothing. I understand. And I've seen people, that live in Texas are like, oh, we have military helicopters fly over the time. No. No. You living in your little residential area, sure, you may have a helicopter that flies over your house. You don't have Black Hawk attack helicopters weaving in and out of high-rise hotels and stuff. That doesn't happen. Yet right now, as we speak, they're conducting these big military drills in Texas. A few months ago, they had a drill just in case Houston gets hit with a nuclear bomb. They're having these big training drills at the White House. You got all of these military conflicts popping off around the world. It's so blatantly obvious what we're headed towards. But a lot of people aren't going to see it. They're not going to see it until it smacks them in their face. But over in the UK, they've started to put out some concerning warnings. And they're starting to prepare, or they're in the process of getting ready to start preparing people in the UK for the possibilities of living without power. Because, as I reported to you all earlier today, Chinese hackers have already infiltrated critical infrastructure right here in the US. I assume that it's probably the same for the UK. And then a snap of a finger, our power grids can be taken down. And this is something that they seem to be taking very seriously in the UK. And they're about to start getting their citizens ready for it. I want to go ahead and dive into this article. Stock up on torches and candles in case of power cuts or a crisis, Deputy PM warns. Britain's Deputy Prime Minister Oliver Dowden has warned the public they should buy candles, torches, and battery-powered radios in the event of a crisis, cutting power supplies. The senior Tory cabinet member, our minister, said Britons should be more personally resilient, as he suggested they were too dependent on devices activated by the internet. A National Resilience Academy will be launched to help people and businesses prepare for future scamdemics, natural disasters, and cyber attacks, Mr. Dowden said. Rishi Sunak's deputy announced the plans in the Commons, claiming the new academy will help the whole of society prepare for major risks. Mr. Dowden also suggested that people stock up on battery-powered radios and torches, as well as candles and first aid kits to prepare for power cuts or digital communications going down. In a visit to Porton Down, the UK's main military laboratory, he described the supplies as analog capabilities that are worth boosting in our digital age. The world has changed unrecognizably, and our society is highly reliant on digital infrastructure, he said. The government needs to ensure that we are resilient in this digital age, ensuring that our structures take this into account, including considering these analog capabilities that it makes sense to retain. Mr. Dowden listed Russia's invasion of Ukraine, cyber attacks, scamdemics, the misuse of AI, artificial intelligence, and extreme weather among some of the risks that the UK faces. He said businesses will be offered training to deal with the impact of such threats, while a new website will provide the public with practical advice on how to be prepared for future risks. So, they're obviously getting ready in the UK. They're getting ready for something big. It looks like they're getting ready for war, possibly war on their soil. And seeing what's happening in Dallas, it looks like we're getting ready for war on our soil as well, which is something that I thought we would never see, and I still don't necessarily think we're going to see that. But they're getting prepared for it. And they wouldn't be getting prepared for it if they weren't already planning to dive headfirst into something that we probably have no business diving into. You know, the UK and America, they move in lockstep. And they're preparing for the inevitable. And rumors have been spreading that soon we're just going to be in a direct war with Russia. Now, I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Maybe it won't. But when you look at things like what I just told you about, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if the powers that be already know that it's inevitable that we're going to war with Russia. That it's only a matter of time. And that maybe they're biding time for the right exact time when they want all hell and chaos to break loose. And he's even warning about cuts. As if, hey, maybe nothing crazy or major is going to happen, but hey, we're spending so much money on immigration and stuff like that. We're sending so much money to Ukraine that, hey, we may have to cut your power off. We may not even be able to keep your power on anymore. Those are the things that are being discussed currently in the UK. And I understand that you may live over there and you may have no idea that this is going on. Trust me. I've heard from plenty of people in Dallas that had no idea that they were having major military exercises in their city. But it's happening. It's happening sometimes right under your noses if you don't know where to look for information, which is why lately I've been doing my best to try to cover stories like this. Because sure, I could talk about true crime and stuff like that all day, but how does that really impact us? How does that really impact our daily lives? In the grand scheme of things, are those news stories really that important? Not really, in comparison to things like this. Things that people should know. And as of right now, they're drawing up plans to prepare businesses for the possibility of being cut off from the power grid. They want to prepare their society for the possibility that life goes back to the way it was before the internet. And it's obvious that they're taking these cyber threats very seriously. Because you hear more about cyber threats than you do an invasion. You hear more about the threat of cyber threats than the actual threat of like boots on the ground, all out war or a physical attack. And in many ways, people don't think this. You think, oh, I'll be fine without the internet. No, you won't. If the internet was shut down right now, it would have such a drastic effect on our society that I don't know if we would be able to really recover from it. Now, I know you're thinking, oh, I'll be okay without playing Candy Crush. I'll be okay a few days without playing Call of Duty. Hell, I don't need to check my stocks today. I could go a couple of days without my cell phone and the internet, but that's not how things work. Everything in our society is connected to the web now. Hospitals, banks, roadways. Nothing will be able to properly function if the power grid were to go down. And I don't think most people are prepared for that. Most people, we have just countless amounts of people on this planet who are literally basically born with a phone in their hand, and they don't know how to function without one. They don't know how to function without the extension of the internet and the World Wide Web. So all hell would break loose. It would be complete chaos if the power grid were to go down, if the internet were to go down. And I think it would be more devastating for our society than maybe a direct attack on one of our cities, if you ask me. And I know it's hard to think of things that way, but trust me, the way that the world is set up, society can't function. Society simply cannot function without this connection to the World Wide Web, without electricity, without these things that we take for granted. But all in all, this is just your latest sign. This isn't something that they just decided, hey, we're going to start preparing for this now. We're going to start talking about this now. No. America and our allies, we're all getting ready. What are we getting ready for? Is it going to be the big war with Russia and China? Is that what we're really getting ready for? Or do we really have to worry about a threat from the inside? Because that's what scares me even more. I know they want us worried about Russia and China and Iran. But something inside of me, and maybe I'm wrong, hopefully I'm wrong, but something inside of me tells me that who I have to worry about is right here. Something tells me that who I have to worry about, it's people right here in this country, right in the UK. I don't know why I feel that way, but it's just in my soul. And I guess it's because of a lot of the things that have happened lately. But while we keep being warned about these threats from the outside, I really feel like the threats are coming from within. And when they tell us to prepare for this or prepare for that, are we really preparing for something? Are we really preparing for our enemies to do something? Or are we preparing for our own government to do something to us? That's a path that I can't go too far down on YouTube. Let's just say that. So you let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're feeling generous, if you want to support this channel, if you want to support all of my hard work, you can do so directly via Cash App. I will have my Cash App in the pinned comment of this video, or you can send donations via Super Thanks, or for free. You can help the channel in multiple ways: liking the video, sharing the video, commenting, subscribing, ringing that notification bell, all of that good stuff. But with all of that being said, I'll talk to you all soon in the next video.